Hello and welcome to Eye on Oakland. I'm Chuck Moss, your host, and we're coming through the magic of Zoom, or it's actually StreamYard, but it's the same thing. Virtual reality, as real as it gets, virtually. We got a great guest today. We're talking with Ann Manning, who is the chair of Birmingham Youth Assistance, and I just found out that you've become the chair. How long have you been chair now?
I have been chair since the end of October.
Oh, good. That's good. Now, congratulations, because I know you've been working with BYA, or Birmingham Youth Assistance.
Yeah.
Can you give us a very quick rundown on, for anybody who might not know, what Birmingham Youth Assistance is?
Of course, Chuck. Birmingham Youth Assistance it's kind of two organizations in one. We are an arm of a prevention arm of the Oakland County Circuit Courts. And we also are a dedicated team of volunteers that put together programming to help. We bring parent education programs. We recognize youth that excel in community service. We put on a series of family-friendly programs throughout the year, such as a kids' dog show and breakfast with Santa that we just had in Birmingham a couple of weeks ago. On the prevention side, our amazingly talented caseworker provides counseling for kids and families who are facing challenges of all kinds. Kids can be put forward by their families, by schools, by the courts, by a variety of sources. If they've just got more on their plate than they can deal with, and our counselor does amazing work with them.
Now, how long have you been involved in the Birmingham community?
I joined back in 2013, so I guess we'll be hitting 11 years soon.
That's you. How long has BYA been involved? Been in existence?
Birmingham Youth Assistance has served this community since 1962. More than 60 years.
1962.
Indeed.
Excellent. 2 years before the Beatles. Excellent. I'm
There's a
dating
benchmark.
myself, aren't I? Well, that's good. You do a lot of good, and you have so many programs. Now, let's just go straight to the dog show. I love the dog show. I consider that to be your premier event of the year. Tell us about the dog show.
I would be happy to, Chuck. The dog show, I actually think it is one of our funnest programs. The dog show is for kids ages 4 to 14 and their pet. We have 5 different competition events that are very low stress and designed to be fun and not intimidating for the kids. They compete to see who has the best looking dog, whose dog has the waggiest tail, who's got the best trick, and let's see. We have an event we've recently added called Musical Sit, which is just like musical chairs, only when the music stops, the kids have to find a way to get their pets to sit down so as not to be eliminated. It's a great deal of fun.
Well, Westminster, it ain't. It's great. It's all kids with dogs, and I love dogs. I like kids. It's great. You used to have biggest dog and smallest dog. You still have that?
We do not have biggest dog and smallest dog. We do have a costume category, and the kids tend to play off on their dog sizes a little bit and picking out costume themes. One of my favorite costumes recently was a little girl. She must have been 4, maybe 5, dressed as a princess, and her tiny chihuahua was dressed as a fierce dragon.
That's fabulous.
We see a lot of cute creativity in that category.
Yes. Now, of course, we have the dachshunds. When our girls were little, they competed with the wiener dogs, and often the wiener dog would just sit down and not move because nope, not going to do it, not going to do it. And you see the kids going round and round. It's wonderful. So now, you said a certain age, or any kid can.
Yep, it's not geographically restricted. Any child any child between the ages of 4 and 14 can enter. It's on February 4th, and it's held at the Berkshire Middle School. Berkshire is part of the Birmingham Public School System. Um, but people have to register in advance. I don't know if they can see on the screen our website address. It's www.birminghamyouthassistance.org, and folks just have to register online by February 2nd.
We're going to put that up on the screen, www.birminghamyouthassistance.org, and we'll put that up because, and look, I got to tell you, it's a great event. I love it. So you have all kinds of kids with all kinds of dogs, and the dogs run around, and sometimes the little kid is holding on, or you might have this kid with a little, like you said, teeny chihuahua. It's lots of fun.
Or a giant Great Dane. That's even funner when they're much larger than the child. We also have we've got several partners without whom the event wouldn't be what it is. Mike Palmer, owner of the Premier Supply pet supply chain, he has partnered with us for, gosh, probably close to 30 years, making the show the great event that it is. Pam Rohr from the Southern Michigan Obedience Training Club is there every year as a judge, and she puts on an obedience demonstration to help teach the kids an easy command, like how to teach their dogs to sit or stay. The easy, that's not intimidating, to get them started learning how they and their pet can learn together. And the Oakland County Sheriff's Department comes into play. They had several comfort dogs there last year to interact with the kids, and hopefully they'll be with us again this year. It really takes a village to put on an event like this, and we're blessed by all the support we get.
Well, it's great. I know that you have judges. I used to be a judge. I've been a judge on and off, in various offices, and it's always one of the most fun things. I always look forward to it, and you just sit there and you've got all these kids, and you've got all these, and I can say I love dogs, so it's simple for me. Now, I have been accused of being partial to the wiener dogs. And I must say they've never won, so I couldn't have put my thumb on the scale too much. But I got to say, do you know how many years you've been doing the dog show?
Yes, indeed. This coming event in February of 2024 will be our 41st annual Kids Dog Show. We did have to take 2 years off for the pandemic because a lot of people in a gym, not a good idea. But there will have been 41 shows, a wonderful tradition for the community, and a real favorite. We see kids coming back year after year, and we've had some parents bring their kids when the parents themselves entered when they were young.
I've actually run into people who were there with parents and said, I showed, Shotzi, my German Shepherd here when I was, when I was 14. So it is, multi-generational. And of course, thanks to Birmingham schools for giving Berkshire giving the school. It's wonderful. So now I'm going to say, I'm going to repeat.
Chuck, I'd like to take a moment and thank, I've mentioned a couple of our supporters, but Mills Pharmacy and the Beverly Hills Veterinary Associates also have been loyal sponsors for years. And the Fluff and Tough Toy Company provides fabulous prizes for all the kids, along with Premier Pet Supply. There's a lot of generosity pulled together to make this show a success.
Really, and let's not forget any of them, because it takes and volunteers. Here's another thing: how many volunteers do you use for that show to put on?
Oh, golly, we probably have 8 to 10 adults, mostly from the BYA board, but we also have some youth volunteers from the local high school and middle schools, and they help with making sure the water dishes are filled for the dogs, and helping parents who can't quite get to the messes in time, and just generally helping out. It does indeed take a village.
Well, if anybody is interested in being a volunteer, and here's this, and I recommend it. I might even volunteer myself this year. I think I did last year. It was a lot of fun. I would you go to the Birmingham Youth Assistance website and sign in and volunteer.
Absolutely, that would be wonderful.
Great. Now I'm going to ask, sort of switch gears here, and another program that you have is the Youth in Service. What is that?
Chuck, Youth in Service is our program for recognizing kids who excel in community service. Kids who, in their spare time, when they're not doing school and sports and all the other things we have our kids scheduled to do, they choose to spend their spare time helping others. It's eligible for kids in grades 6 through 12 who live or are educated within the boundaries of the Birmingham Public School District, but that includes kids in private schools and kids that are homeschooled. It's a geographic boundary. We get kids that just do a variety of service, ranging from helping at food banks, delivering food, collecting clothing for the less fortunate, to kids who have joined service clubs at their schools, and also kids that have helped their neighbors, that go and do chores for their neighbors or help out some elderly relations during the pandemic. A variety of service will qualify. We just want to shine a spotlight on the kids that are making great choices on how to spend their time, and make it a priority to help other folks.
Well, we used to do the Birmingham Optimist Youth Appreciation Breakfast, which was sort of a precursor of it, I think. And it was always amazing to read, about what these kids are doing. It's like, I'm not doing half the stuff that these high schoolers are, you just look forward. What are they going to be doing in 5 or 10 years? It's just incredibly inspirational.
It's true, and I'm glad you mentioned the Birmingham Optimist event. We did, in fact, have very similar events, and now we work together. They co-sponsor our event, and they help fund scholarships that we offer selected kids. The awards event is a partnership with the Optimists. We're very pleased to work with them.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I chaired the youth breakfast for several years, and the big job was always getting a speaker. Until finally we realized we don't need a speaker. We have the kids. Just having them talk about the kids was enough. And one year we did have the lieutenant governor, but that was kind of a high point. But the kids were really the stars of the show. You read what they're doing, and I'm like thinking, what have I been doing with my life compared to these guys? These guys are the up and coming generation. Were really in good hands.
It's true. We have had kids who have raised tens of thousands of dollars to start an orphanage, for instance. And we've also have kids who have served a few times in a soup kitchen and are just getting their feet wet in the world of service. Everyone's coming from a different place, and all the kids have a different level of parental support. You need a certain amount of support to be able to get to places when you're young. So we recognize all levels of contribution. We're just really pleased because once you start down the path of community service, it's something that you catch the bug and it sticks. And that's someone who's going to be a good, helpful citizen the rest of their lives in many cases.
Well, we got to take a break here. We come back. I'd like to keep on the youth in service because it's such a star event. But in the meantime, we've got to take a little break here. I'm Chuck Moss. We're talking with Ann Manning, who is the chair of Birmingham Youth Assistance. And we'll get back to that right after this. Don't go away. We'll be right back here on Eye on Oakland. Welcome back to Eye on Oakland. I'm Chuck Moss, hosting here, and we have as our guest Ann Manning, who's the chair of Birmingham Youth Assistance. Local organization, does great amount of good. Before we leave the the youth in service, which recognizes exemplary young people. Now, I say you have. We used to have lots of like state reps and senators and commissioners all come to honor the kids. You still do that?
We do. We do. We are very pleased when local dignitaries are able to help us show their appreciation for these kids and shine a little well-deserved spotlight on them.
Or in some cases, indignitaries, but we're glad to have them. Really, it's honoring you because you get all the bad news. Okay, you hear about the kids that do this or do that, do something bad, but really to honor the heroes, and there's quite a lot of them. I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you now. One of the things that you do are scholarships. What
Yeah.
scholarships? Where? How do you get involved? How do you apply?
Chuck, I would love to answer that question, but let me touch on one more thing for youth
Oh,
in service. The biggest challenge about the youth in service program is finding these wonderful kids. Um, we have the schools work with us and nominate kids, but they don't often know what the kids are up to on their in their spare time. We'd like to find these kids that are actively engaged in the community. And so, if families, if your kids live in the Birmingham Public School District area and they're involved, um, encourage them to sign up. The sign up process is the the student will ask an unrelated adult. Maybe it's the neighbor they've helped. Maybe it's their supervisor at a nonprofit where they helped feeding people or collect clothing, to fill out a short nomination form. And then the student fills out a form giving us some additional information. It's all online on our website, Birmingham Community Birmingham Youth Assistance.org, but we need help getting the word out. Now, other youth assistance organizations, Birmingham is just one of them, also have recognition programs. So if your viewers live in Royal Oak or Troy or Clarkston, they will have their own youth assistance to go to. So we are appealing to folks that are more in the Birmingham area, Beverly Hills, Bingham Farms, Franklin, um, to reach out to our website and nominate a child if you know someone in middle school or high school that's really been reaching out and helping folks.
well, that's good advice. Now, before we do more, there are you say you try to get people involved. Well, let's hit. I want to talk about scholarships. Let's talk about scholarships. What do you do with those?
Okay, Chuck, summer camp is one existence. I think many of us have fond memories of the times we spent at summer camp with outdoor activities, having fun, making friends, learning leadership skills. Well, a lot of kids in our community, especially the kids that are facing more than their fair share of challenges, their families just don't have the financial means to give them that opportunity. And Birmingham Youth Assistance, with the aid of our generous sponsors, the Oakland County Circuit Court, and the municipalities of Birmingham, Beverly Hills, Franklin, and Bingham Farms, um, their generosity makes it possible for us to offer scholarships for day camps, for summer camps, for skills program like computer programming or a tennis camp or cheerleading. It's really up to the kids and their families, but they can reach out to Birmingham Youth Assistance if there's a financial need and your child would really benefit from an experience like that. Please reach out to us or through the children's school.
We've been talking about all the good things you do, but it strikes me that your organization probably runs on lots and lots of volunteers. Where do the volunteers come from? If someone is watching and thinks this is something we'd like to get involved in, how would they start? How would they engage?
Well, Chuck, you're right. We can't do any of the work that we do without our team of volunteers, and we are always looking for new folks. We have uh, professionals, homemakers, retirees, just a wide range of people that are helping. And sometimes they come to us through word of mouth. People will, a board member, a volunteer will bring their friend in to help, and they end up getting hooked. Or if someone is interested in helping us put on some of these programs, they can just reach out to us through the website, and one of us will be in touch. I can bring you into a meeting, give you a better idea of what we do and what opportunities there are. We would love to have new folks. In fact, several of our newest recruits are the parents of children who are recognized in our youth and service program. So we do get in. That is my introduction to Birmingham Youth Assistance as well. My kids were both recognized, and that's how I learned about this terrific organization. So if you like to put on events, to organize and plan things, to work with kids, and you have a little time that you'd like to contribute to the community, please reach out to our website.
How did you get involved?
Well, I first learned about Birmingham Youth Assistance when my kids were recognized through the Youth Assistance Program. And then years later, a good friend, Ann Nazareth, who sits on the Birmingham Youth Assistance Board, um, right from the very start, I believe, he brought me into a meeting, and it was love at first sight. That was 11 years ago. Um, yeah, word of mouth. We reach out to our friends who we think would enjoy, participating. But we have had a number of people just approach us through the website and become exciting contributing members of our team that we're so grateful for.
And now you're chair. That's good. Now we're going to once again, we'll throw up the email address, which is www.birminghamyouthassistance.org. If anybody watching this thinks this is something they'd like to get involved in. Now, I want to ask you about one more program you were talking about. It's called Touch a Truck. What's that?
Touch a Truck is an opportunity for the youngest members of our community to get up close and personal with their favorite big vehicles in the community. This event is held at Bingham Farms Elementary School every year, about mid-May, and with help from our community partners, we have ambulances and school buses and police cars, fire engines, construction vehicles, a variety of the trucks that our kids just love to see from a distance. And they can climb up on the vehicle and talk to the driver and really experience what they are hands-on. It's a super popular event that kids of all ages enjoy.
Do you have road graders? Do you have road graders? I think road graders are cool.
I think they're cool as well. We have not had one since I've been involved, but we would love to.
Well, you do get snowplows, though. I'm sure the road commission.
Yeah, we have had snowplows. We have even had a police horse. Not exactly a typical vehicle, but it's one of our favorites.
Well, police horses, it's definitely it's definitely vehicle, or at least it's horsepower. Now. One horsepower. My question. So when is this event? Where is, you said it was at Berkshire?
It's at Bingham Farms Elementary School, and I don't believe we have the date set for 2024, but it's always a Saturday in mid-May, and we'll try to get the word out as best we can as soon as that date is set. But usually the second Saturday in May.
And second Saturday in May. Yep. And well, I may go out there myself. I usually make the Birmingham DPW there because that's where you do. All right, I'll admit it. I like the snow plows. I'm a sucker for those guys. I even got to drive one once, and I got to ride along. They wouldn't let me drive it. I wouldn't trust me to drive it just as well. Now, for all the kids, you say kids of all ages, probably kids even my age would be a good thing.
We have a lot of grandparents bringing their grandchildren, and you'd be hard pressed to say if the grandchild or the grandpa enjoys the trucks better.
Well, it's funny you should mention grandchildren, because as of 4 months ago, I became a grandfather. So you might bring the little guy. He's getting stronger now. He's 4 months. Now, finally, before we're going to run out of time here, I want to just a big overview. What you do, how much good you do, and how the community can support.
Well, what we do, we provide professional counseling for kids facing challenges of all kinds, whether they're facing a difficult home situation, whether there's we work to prevent abuse and neglect. We work with the kids, we work with the families. We also work with the police and courts. They can refer kids who have a minor first offense, and working with our caseworker can be an alternative to traditional consequences that would leave them with a lifelong record. We try to give second chances. But you don't have to be in trouble to benefit from the counseling. It could be just a kid that's having a tough time in school. Bullying is an issue that brings families to us. Um, if you can help kids through challenges that they're facing, they learn to cope with them and deal with them. Um, the family programs that we put on, we have a parent education committee that puts on programs on um, shoplifting, on suicide prevention, on vaping, on the power of play, on the power of parents playing with their kids, just a variety of topics on safety on the internet. I've mentioned the fun family programs that we do. Breakfast with Santa is another one that I hadn't mentioned. And we look for volunteers in the community that want to help us put on those parent education programs, that want to help us plan these fun events. We let our caseworker focus on the counseling, and everything else is volunteer. And if you feel it in your heart, if you have a couple hours a month you want to contribute, please reach out to our website. We would love to have you as part of our team.
Well, that sounds like quite a an attractive offer to do something to help the community and help the kids, and just probably very, as you see, it's been very satisfying for you as well. You started out as a volunteer and ended up as chair. Let's recap. The dog show is coming up. It's going to be in February, right?
February 4th.
February 4th. Touch a Truck and is coming up in May. And we will have the nominations for Youth in Service. Oh, how do you reach out to homeschoolers?
Well, you're helping us, Chuck. It's difficult. We try to get our word out to media, but it's a little bit of a challenge to get some media coverage. So if someone hearing this has a homeschool child or knows of someone that has a homeschool child, it's been active in the community, please pass along the word.
Good. And once again, it's www.birminghamyouthassistance.org. And we have been talking with Ann Manning, who is the chair. And once again, I may just stop by and volunteer at your dog show. Let's just see the dogs. All right.
Wonderful.
Well,
Thank you,
thank
Chuck,
you
and
very much.
congratulations on your grandchild.
Yes, congratulations are definitely in order. He's a good little baby. All right, so maybe we'll see him at Youth in Service in maybe 10 to 14 years. All right, we'll see you later. Thank you for joining us. Ann Manning is the chair of Birmingham Youth Assistance, doing so much good for the community. And thank you to all of you for joining us here on Eye on Oakland.